Students from all over the US and the world meet here on the BYU campus to experience what this university offers. This place is a place of spiritual reinforcement, intellectual enlargement, and character growth. It has a goal of sending its students out into the world on a path towards lifelong learning and service. But being a college student, even in such a great atmosphere, is very difficult. It requires hard work and mental stamina, and the rigorous courses bring out a wide range of emotions for all students.
How do you feel about going into today?
Crap. Okay,
Going into today, what are your feelings? Today, just going into it, how do you feel?
going into the day,
Yeah.
I'm feeling good.
Feeling good?
Yep.
What about you?
Feeling pretty good. A little tired, but good.
All right.
They're pretty good. Woke up pretty optimistic, and it's been a good day so far.
I did not get all my work done, so I have a lot to do today.
Does that make you feel stressed?
A little bit, yeah. I'd say so.
I woke up in a bad mood, so today's not been great. I think it might mess up your psychology project, but
Not at
I'm
all.
not feeling good about today.
Not at all. Don't worry. We're just wondering, do you often feel like a lot of stress while you're here on campus?
Yeah, like all the time. At least once every day, yeah. Not really.
Wow, good for you.
Yes.
Yes. All right. So, what was the most stressful thing that happened to you guys this week?
This week,
Yeah.
we have a paper due tonight that we haven't started. So
At any university, this sort of stress is part of daily life. Every student is taking multiple classes, balancing their social life, dating, and some work a job, have financial worries, and everyone is worried about the pandemic.
How does stress affect you?
Personally, I think stress can be a good thing. It's motivating and makes me want to do well.
I don't know what your definition of stress is, but it's not the same as mine. When I'm stressed for a long time, it makes me feel sick.
Fair enough, but when I feel stressed, it makes me want to try harder in my classes. For example, when I have a big chem test coming up, the stress makes me want to study. I repeat, stress is good.
I think we're talking about two different kinds of stress.
Wait a minute. Are you saying there's good stress and bad stress? Then what exactly is stress?
So, the definition of stress is a physical, chemical, or emotional factor that causes bodily or mental tension, or a state resulting from a stress. Stress is nearly always a reaction from an outside stimuli. In other words, it's our body watching out for us. You see, back when we were cavemen, stress was useful because it was our body's way of preparing us when we had dangerous encounters. For example, if you saw a snake, being stressed would cause your body to focus blood flow to lower parts of your body so you can escape. Stress probably saved your too many great grandfathers. Today's stress manifests when we are in events in your life, such as a test, a date, public speaking, or when you're in a new situation. But sometimes your body doesn't want you to relax, or it doesn't get the chance because the stressor isn't going away. Stress can become a bad thing.
Ah, I see. So sometimes stress is a good thing. Like I said, but like you said, stress can be a bad thing too. Stress was and is a useful tool. However, it can get out of hand. Instead of helping me to do better on a test, it makes it so I can't focus and study. Stress can keep me from sleeping at night, and it makes it so I can't relax, and my body's always tense.
But what happens when stress doesn't go away, or even when your brain doesn't process stress properly?
I think what you're really talking about is anxiety. It's important to recognize the difference between stress and anxiety, because though they manifest in similar ways, the root causes and long-term outcomes are very different.
How so?
Well, anxiety is defined as an abnormal and overwhelming sense of apprehension and fear, often marked by physical signs such as tension, sweating, and increased pulse rate. And there's a lot of root causes. For some people, it's past trauma and that makes them anxious, while for others, it's linked to genetics. Sometimes anxiety gets so bad that it can cause panic attacks, and it can get in the way of a person's daily life, and even seriously limit their academic or occupational functioning.
Oh, okay, so stress is short-term and an outside threat, and anxiety is a long-term to perceived threats. real and otherwise, based on imbalance of hormones or even past life experiences.
Exactly. Everyone deals with stress every day. The Association for University and College Counseling Center director suggested that 41% of college students are anxious and 36% are depressed. What can be done to help? What management and treatment options are there?
Well, for stress, there are both proactive and reactive strategies for management. To avoid unnecessary stress, you can proactively stay healthy. This involves getting 8 hours of sleep per night, eating healthy, staying active, and spending quality time with friends and family. When stressful moments do arise, you can reactively take deep breaths, meditate, and listen to music. The point is to take care of yourself and to know your limits. Stress can be helpful, but you need to learn how to control it.
For anxiety, a lot of the self-care options look very similar to stress, but oftentimes you need more consistent and in-depth treatment options. Stress can be often dealt with from home, but with moderate to severe anxiety, we invite you to reach out to resources around you. Many times, your primary care physician can prescribe some basic medications to help level out that chemical imbalance we talked about earlier. And most of the time, if not at all, they will work with you to coordinate and help in other ways. Cognitive behavioral therapy, which is just a big fancy term for talking to someone in a neutral environment, can be a big help, and having a solid support system can make a family and friends and also add your management of anxiety.
For both anxiety and stress, there are things you can do at home for help. If you're stressed or anxious, you can journal, work out, or meditate. There are even apps nowadays that have specific relaxation tactics, meditation methods, and overall support in overcoming little obstacle in your life.
Just remember, it's okay to need help.
So, throughout the day, if you do start feeling anxious, what do you think you do to calm yourself down?
I take deep breaths. I will breathe in for 4 seconds, hold it for 2, breathe out for 4. Do that a few times, or I'll go work out.
Perfect. When you do feel stressed, what do you often do to help cope with it?
Sometimes just I play piano, so I go down to the basement of my building, play piano for a little bit, or just take a nap. Yeah.
Perfect. And do those things help you feel hopeful about the week? Get rid of some of your stress?
Somewhat. Makes me feel more hopeful if I actually get stuff done, but yeah.
How do you manage your stress? Because if you don't get a lot, how do you do good at managing it?
I try to put it into perspective and look at things as from 10 years in the future. So if I don't get one little assignment done, I feel it's not the end of the world, but yeah.
So I'm big about trying to cope with stress. I'm a really big advocate of meditation. I meditate every day just to try to be more aware of my feelings and my thoughts, and try to figure out okay, what am I feeling? How can I stay in kind of an objective perspective from that instead of getting lost in my stress. So that's just one kind of big thing that I do.
The human body is programmed to survive and thrive.
However, our body sometimes helps a little too much and overcompensates.
This can cause physical symptoms and mental distress.
Learning how to handle stress and anxiety will help you in your life to overcome obstacles, big or small.
Being a college student is very difficult. It requires hard work, mental stamina, and the rigorous courses bring out a wide range of emotions for all students. But there are options for relief, and there was always hope ahead